second one year with James Monroe Iglehart, where I was playing the finale of season 11, and we're in the beautiful New Amsterdam, and we're actually in his dressing room on the 6th floor. Now, James, what some of the plays you did in high school?
Wow. I only got to do one play in high school because I was in show choir. So the only show, they told me we were going to do Little Shop of Horrors, but they lied to me. And so we didn't do that show. We ended up doing You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And I ended up playing Charlie Brown.
Do you think, how was your mother as a choral director?
I loved my mom as a choral director. She pretty much taught me everything I know.
Do you think it hindered or helped you that your mom was your teacher?
Actually, I think it helped me because my mom, she didn't hold back. Sometimes teachers feel that they can hold back, you know, and not say anything to you because you're not their child. No, my mom did not hold back a thing. If I was singing wrong, she let me know. If I was breathing wrong, she let me know. I couldn't even sing in the house without her going, you're singing through your nose, you're not singing correctly. I mean, I was like, look at her, I was saying, Mom, I'm just playing. No, if you're gonna sing, you have to sing right. So my mom was on me. So I think it was a good thing. Now, what's funny is I go to her during shows, even for Aladdin, I say, Mom, what do you think? And now she won't give me any notes. She'll go, no, you're a professional now, I have nothing to say. I'm like, I know you feel something. She's like, no, you're good. You know exactly what you're doing. And I'm like, you're lying to me. Like, you know, she jumped on me as a kid. Now as a man, she won't say anything.
What do you think Dawn would say was a favorite play?
My mom or mine? My mom's. Oh, Dawn. Oh, I think.
Your wife?
Yeah, my wife. Dawn's my wife. Dawn Iglehart. My wife, Dawn, I think her favorite play that I have been in, I think is Aladdin. Because I've done a bunch of them. And my wife, like my mom, is very honest. And I've done a couple shows where my wife has gone opening night and then gone, that's great. I don't have to ever see this again. And she never comes back. She'll go to the party and she'll go, as long as the check clears, that's great, but I'm not coming back. And there's only been a few shows that she's gone to that she really, really likes. She loved Spelling Bee. Actually, thank God, the Broadway shows she's loved. Spelling Bee, Memphis, Aladdin. But I did Showboat back in a regional theater. She liked that. But some of the other shows I've done, it's been so fun. I'll see her in the audience, and I can just see her fighting not to get on her phone. I'm like, just watch the show. Please don't get on your phone. I love you. But she'll be bored sometimes, and so. But she's, I think Aladdin is her favorite because she actually knows all the words. She knows all the words to the song. So I know if she knows the words to the songs, then she likes it.
Is she in the theater?
No, my wife is by trade a molecular biologist, and her job is she is a quality assurance manager for a biotech company in California. She's a real smart girl. I had to find a girl with a real job.
So do you live in California all year round?
I don't live in California all year round, but that's where I was born, and I still have an apartment there.
All right.
And my mother-in-law lives in that apartment, and so I have an apartment there and an apartment here. No, that having an apartment here in California just means I'm broke. So.
Are there any children?
No, not of our own, but we have my 5 nieces and nephews.
Okay.
And we have, when they say it takes a village to raise kids, it's literally taking a village, and so they're with us constantly. And when I mean constantly, I mean like they just left last week.
Yeah.
And these people, this has been since they were like 0. these people are like 18, 14, 22, 20. They just never leave. And I keep looking at their parents. I keep looking at their parents going, don't you guys have houses? I'm like, you guys are on planes. And I'm like, who paid for the plane? I'm like, I paid for the plane. But I love them. They are my heart. And it's great. It's gotten so bad that when they come up here, the doormen know them. So I'll be on stage. And I'll bow and come up to my dressing room, and they'll just be in here. And I'm like, oh, didn't even know y'all was coming. Good to know y'all sent me a text. We sent you a text. I was like, I was on stage. I'm supposed to read a text. But, that's my family.
One of your many jobs other than an actor is a director like me.
Yes.
You own double duty. How is James, the director, different than James, the actor?
The one thing is, I think that the main difference between James, the director, and James, the actor, is the actor gets to be a little more insecure in front of people, and the director can't really be insecure in front of his actors, even though he might be. He might go, I have no idea what I'm going to do here. But you can't show that to your actors. You have to let your actors know that you have a plan, and you know what you're going to do. And if you know what you're going to do, they trust that. As an actor, you can go, help, I have no idea what to do in this scene. And then you as a director go, I have no idea either, but I won't tell you that. I think you should try this. And that's the best way. When directors say try something, they're basically going, I have no idea what to do. Try that. See what happens. So
Good idea. Good idea, right?
It's like it all depends on how you word it.
I was in rehearsals the other day, and the girl who plays Molly, she did something, and I love it. Put it in.
Good job. Yeah, just keep that. That's great. That was my idea. Great. You keep it, and you get as a director, you get all the credit, and it's awesome. You know, and that's the only issue. Like when you're an actor, if the show is bad or something happens, you shouldn't, but you could blame it on the director. You go, well, the director told me to do that. But if you're the director and the show is bad, it's all your fault. It's like, but if it's great, it's all your fault too. So I think that's the difference. I enjoy doing both. I I just haven't had as many opportunities to direct as much as I'd like because, thank God, my career has done a lot acting-wise. But I like being behind the chair too. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What do you think is easier? Creating a new part like Bobby in Memphis or the genie in Aladdin that has sort of a blueprint, if you would call it that.
I think, to be honest, it was easier to create. They're both hard, because with a new character you have to find what the character is and create something that's not there on the page and hope that it's good. When you have a blueprint, it's hard because the fans are already expecting something. Like the Disney fans already know what the genie is, and they want to see if you're going to be a carbon copy of the cartoon, or if they want to see if you're going to do something new. And it's a slippery slope. If you do something new they don't like, they'll get upset. But if you stay exactly the way it is in the cartoon, they'll go, well, you didn't try anything. So I think it's I wouldn't call either one of them easier, because with Bobby, it literally took me 5 years to find what Bobby was. When we first did it in 2004, that Bobby is very different from opening night in 2009 at the Shubert Theater. Thank you very much. So it took me a long time to find what Bobby was, because I was afraid to do anything that was going to make me look crazy. But then after a while, sometimes as an actor, you know, you just have to go, you know what, I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to throw this against the wall and see what happens. And all of a sudden, I took his voice became really, really high, and he talked like this, and all of a sudden, there was Bobby, and Bobby was fine talking to Hewitt, and every time I say Hewitt, it goes up, and, you know, then you just start, and all of a sudden, when you start doing things like that, when you start singing, the notes go up too. So if you go Hewitt, and now when I start singing, like, hey, all of a sudden it just begins to just, you know, snowball, and then that's where the character fell in. Where with the genie, I had to stop looking at my favorite cartoon. Aladdin's my favorite cartoon. I had to stop watching it and just make something different and hope everybody liked it.
Yeah, recently know Robin Williams, and I knew he was your idol. You said that
Yes.
in a interview. How was it that night doing things like me, and you just got the news
Yeah.
that
He passed.
yeah.
I found out on a Monday. He passed on a Monday, and it was a very hard night because one, I never got to meet him, you know, and I didn't want to say anything that would be out of place. And I didn't expect. What I didn't expect was this. I thought that no one knew who I was because I hadn't won the Tony yet. I thought I didn't know, and all of a sudden, news people were calling Disney, and they were calling me, and they were asking me if I wanted to talk about it, and I was like, no, I didn't, because I didn't want to be one of those, you know, talking heads on the news, you know, where they have the split screen and the people are talking, and because I didn't know him, and I saw people on TV that didn't know him, and they were like, oh my gosh, Robin's this, Robin's that, and I was like, I had too much respect for his work, and as a fan, I didn't want to do that. So when Disney called and they said, hey, do you want to do a tribute to him the next night? I said, please, I would love to. So during Friend Like Me, during the actual song, when we got to the tap piece, I always say something silly. And at that moment, I said, this is for you, Robin. And we started really tapping, and I started crying, and the place blew up when it happened. And then at the end, we did the tribute, and they told me I could say whatever I wanted. And you can see that on YouTube. You can see the cut version is 2 minutes. You can see the person with the iPhone in the back, which is 4 minutes. And you can see both versions of what I said. And I was just honored that I got to do something. And a lot of his friends saw it on YouTube and were able to, I shouldn't say a lot of his friends, I should say entertainers that knew him that saw it came to me and said, thank you for that. They thought it was really, really nice. And I felt good that I was able to do that.
Now, you were in your SUV with your niece when you got the role.
Yes.
And you cannot find that video.
I can't find the video.
Or we would have played it with
I know,
you.
I'm sorry.
Can you tell us?
Yeah, if I find it, I will send it to you, yes.
Can you tell us about that video?
Yeah, so once they decided to take it to Toronto and take Aladdin to Toronto and to Broadway, they called me, my agents called me and said, hey, it's not that they don't love you, they just have to audition because it's what they have to do. And I was like, they don't want me? And I know it's not, they don't want you. They want to see what else is out there. And that happens. And oh my gosh, all three of us, me, Courtney, and Adam were like, I said, did they tell you? And Adam said, yeah, they just called. They're auditioning Aladdin. So we both called Courtney, and Courtney was like, they're auditioning Jasmine's. And the three of us were just like, oh my gosh, because we thought we had it, and they had to audition. And so my wife, my agent calls about 2 weeks later, and he says, look, they've narrowed it down. If they may need you to come in to re-audition. And I remember telling my agent, like it was a prize fight, I said, look, if I have to come in and defend my title, I will. I will take out whoever it is, you know, not violently, but you know, dancing and singing wise, I will beat them up and I take this role. And my wife told me, she was at work and she said, you're supposed to find out in a couple days, just keep your phone on you, and if they call, if I'm not there, you know, tape it. And I was like, Mom, I said, you know, Dawn, that sounds like the craziest thing in the world to do. And she said, but I won't be there. I want to experience this with you. I want to be there with you. I was like, you know, when your wife says that, you just go with it. You don't argue, you just go. So I was driving with my niece and I was buying her a brand new phone because her phone had cracked because she was a college student and I don't know what she did. I think she threw it on the floors. I have no idea. But we went to the store, we got her new phone, and Casey Nicola, the director, calls. And I'm driving, and you know, it's illegal to drive me on the phone. So I hung up on him. I didn't even answer the phone, I just hung up and quickly parked. And I told her, I said, get your phone out. She has not even put numbers in her phone yet. I said, turn on the video. I called Casey back. Hopefully he would pick up. Sure enough, he picked up. And I said, hello, and he says, hello. And I said, what's up? And he said, you got it. And that did it. I lost it. I was crying. I was screaming. My niece was trying to be quiet so she could tape it. And then after it was over, I showed it to my wife so she could see it. And then once we got to Toronto, I told the Disney people, I said, you won't believe I actually got to tape myself hearing that I got it. And they were like, really? Can we see it? I said, sure. So I sent it to them, and they put it together in this package, and I had no idea that's what they were going to do. I thought they just wanted to see it because it'd be something that you never get to really see. And next thing I know, my wife and I were watching ABC. It's like national TV. I'm like, is it? Oh my gosh! And she starts laughing. She was like, she goes, see, that's what I get for having good ideas, because now this idea that I had that was supposed to be just for me is for everybody. But she loved it because our families got to see it, our friends got to see it, and I didn't realize how many fans it would touch. People come to when at the end of the show and tell me they've seen it all the time, and they say, you know, it's fun to watch a person be so excited to get a role. I think they think because we're on Broadway that we just know it's going to happen, and they don't understand that this is a dream for us, just like it's a dream for them. So when they saw that, they were like, oh my God, you react like normal people. I was like, yes, I react just like normal people. I scream and go nuts when something great happens.
Yeah. I want to take you back a few years ago.
Sure.
To that audition, with the first audition with the genie. You said in an interview that when you got the signs, you crossed something.
Oh, yeah.
You crossed
yes.
Robin Williams line out.
Yeah.
What? But you never said what you crossed out and what you added in. So I was just wondering what you crossed.
I remember a couple of things. I remember I was in my apartment and I was looking at the lines, and I crossed out. It wasn't a line from Robin Williams. It was actually just a line in the script, and the line was the genie is here, and I crossed out the genie is here, and I wrote in, Genie still got it, Mama, because it reminded me for some reason of Liza Minnelli talking to her when she's dancing, and she goes, look at me, Mama, I'm performing, and I was like, I'm totally doing that. And then I used to say, which they took out, I used to say to Aladdin, look, ladies, you can clean your clothes on this washboard. And so I took the guy who was reading with me and picked him up, and I, motioned to his washboard stomach. And so I wrote that in. I put in the cartwheel. That whole introduction that you hear when I come out of the lamp is pretty much a lot of what I made up. And so Chad Beglin, the Tony-nominated book writer of our show, he liked what I said, and then he basically took what I did and refined it and took his words and made it, and then asked me, he said, what do you think? I said, I like it. He's like, great. And I said, can I add something here? So it became a collaboration. But with the auditions, I just basically crossed out some of the lines I thought weren't funny. But that's terrible to say. I'm so gonna get fired. I thought weren't funny, and just wrote in what I would do. There was a moment that's no longer there. where Jeannie says, you know, I have a dream. You know, I have dreams too, because Aladdin says, I have a dream. And Jeannie says, I have dreams too. And I just took it and I wrote above it MLK. So when I got to audition and he says, I have dreams too, Jeannie, I was like, oh, I have a dream that one day. And I just, you know, I just did these things. And the director, I didn't know when I auditioned that I was auditioning for Casey. I had never seen him before. So I just figured I would be safe